It's a Sunday showdown. We got a tight game coming in the last 3 innings. You don't want to miss it. We've got a special guest for Father's Day today. We've got great stories coming up. Adam, cue the walk-up music. As you can see, we've got a third member of our squad today. That's Dana. That's not just regular Dana. That's Dana, our dad, joining the show. We've got coffee today to join with that, and we're going to get into some trivia. Before we do that, though, we always love to hear our guests' fandom story. So we know, Dad, you grew up a Cardinals fan. So let's start there. How did that begin? Give us the story.
Well, in 1967, when the Cardinals won the World Series, and I was all of 10 years old or so, I just caught on to that, and I got to know the Cardinals lineup inside and out. And so when 1968 came around, I was already out at my concrete wall in front of our driveway at our home, and it had just enough tilt to it. It was about like that, so that when you threw the official baseball at the wall, it would come back to you. So I drew a regulation size home plate on that wall, and lo and behold, we came out of spring training, and Red Shandy's, the manager of the Cardinals, put me in the starting lineup with Bob Gibson, Nellie Bryles, Ray Washburn out of Whitworth is where he went to college, and Steve Carlton. So I would go to the newspaper, the box scores, and I would say, oh, they're playing the Dodgers in LA, and I'm pitching against Claude Osteen today. So I'd go out and I'd pitch. And in my pitching, if I walked a batter, for example, that meant they scored a run, because that's just how the game evolved. And there were times that I didn't make it through, say, the 6th inning. And there were times I had complete games. It was just a whole lot of fun. That's how I got hooked on baseball. And then in 1970, I became a Cincinnati Reds fan with Big Red Machine, Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, all those guys. Finally, in 75, 76, they did the job. And by then, I'd kind of gotten to a point of, I was in my radio career in Montana, and I just kind of followed whoever, and really never even caught on to being a Mariners fan until returning to the state of Washington in 1982. Just loved the game, and that was one reason that I was so excited when you guys, for 4 years old, out in the driveway, Aaron, you standing on top of the driveway and throwing the baseball. You were pitching to Adam. Of course, he's also 4 years old. And if Adam swung and missed, it hit the garage door and rolled back out to you.
Great stories about baseball have begun. So excited to have you here, Pop.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so we got Senior, the Kid, and Junior. Those names and people will make a reappearance. But we're going to jump into some trivia, Father's Day related trivia. Who is the most recent father-son combo to play in the majors at the same time? And this is inspired by, well, it's Father's Day. So here we are. You see some most home runs by father-son duos there. And so we're just celebrating. So we're going to jump right into our question and answer choices. Name the most recent father-son duo to play in MLB. We have Tom and Dee Gordon, the Griffeys, Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr., Tim Raines Sr. and Tim Raines Jr., or D. Eric Young Sr. and Eric Young Jr. Dad, let's start with you. What do you think?
I'm going with the Gordon boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For me, I was having a hard time thinking of anybody else. I went Griffey here. I couldn't put it together of anybody else who would have played together. So I'm going Griffey here.
And I went with Eric Young Jr. and Sr., thinking that Eric Young Sr. played a little bit, into my adulthood, and Eric Young Jr. as well. I remember him playing. Well, let's take a peek, see how we did. Dad, welcome to the club.
Oh, yeah?
Somehow, the three of us answered every answer except the correct one. The correct answer is Tim Raines Sr. and Tim Raines Jr. So, yeah, that's how it goes. So we take a peek at the scoreboard. We see the goose eggs on there. Still 4-3, though. We got a fun little trivia format coming here in the 8th and 9th. But before that, we're chatting Father's Day a little bit. And one of my great baseball memories and things I still like to do around Father's Day and when thinking about baseball and you, Dad, you and I had a chance to, once upon a time, go to the Field of Dreams movie site. And, it's like the all-time father-son baseball movie.
Hey, Dad? You want to have a catch?
I'd like that.
And there we are.
There we are.
The classic father-son baseball movie.
Yep.
And, think about that all the time and watch it still quite a bit, too. It's one of my favorite airplane movies to watch. And we're commemorating the 8th with a little tribute to Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. Aaron, tell us a little bit about how the 8th is going to work.
Yeah, so the 8th inning. So we're changing this up a little bit. Dad has prepared a bunch of trivia for us. So he's going to present the trivia. In the 8th inning, he's going to ask us the same question, and we're going to try to get it right, kind of like we just did in the 7th inning. And, so we could get one run in the 8th. And then we'll talk about the 9th inning when we get there. But Dad's going to bring the trivia, and then we're both going to answer. We have not we don't know what trivia question he's bringing to the table. So it's brand new. And so let's get after it.
Okay, now before I ask the question, I have to mention this Cardinal jersey that I have, you guys purchased for me for a Father's Day gift. I believe it was years ago. The only time I've ever worn this jersey was the day I was with you at Field of Dreams, Adam. It was so hot that day. The heat index, I believe, was in the upper 90s. Yet I put my jersey on, and Adam and I went to the field. And as soon as we stepped on the grass on the actual field, it was like it was 70 degrees outside. Nice. It was unbelievable. I pitched to Adam for a while, and then Adam pitched to me. And then a young man who was there that I threw some pitches to picked up one of our baseballs and started to leave. And I went up and asked him if he had a baseball, and he said no. So we gave him one of our baseballs so that he would have a memory from Field of Dreams that he did get a baseball while he was there. It was really special. Nice. Okay, so we got a father-son thing going here. Father-son duo with highest WAR. Well, we're talking the Bonds family, possibly the Griffeys, or how about the Boones?
I'm going to go Bonds here. I think, Griffey's a high WAR, but I know Bonds definitely outwarred Ken Griffey Jr., and I'm 100% positive that Bobby outwarred Ken Griffey Sr. So I feel pretty confident about this one.
Yeah, and me too. And even if we didn't have choices, I was picking the Bonds. So let's see how we did. Pop, how'd we do?
Well, Bobby Bonds' WAR was 57.9.
Okay.
Barry was 162.7. That gives you a total of 220.6. Number one.
There it is. What do you remember about so this was early 90s, 89, 90 when so Griffey Jr., Griffey Sr. played on the same team for the Mariners. What do you remember about that when that all came through?
I remember when Dave Niehaus lost his mind when they homered back to back.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was Sunday afternoon, and I remember I just had the radio on doing whatever around the house,
Mhm.
and I was even stunned because I never even considered a father-son duo hitting home runs in the same game.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was amazed.
Yeah, the thing that was wild about that, if anybody, you go back and you watch that video, their home runs were both opposite field to left center field and almost in the exact same spot too. So that was pretty incredible to go back and watch that in Anaheim.
I think as a baseball fan and a Christian, I would call that a God moment.
Mhm.
Actually, in my mind, I was just amazed, even when I saw the replays on ESPN. It was neat to see.
Mhm.
Father son.
Yeah, a lot of fun father-son Mariner moments that involved Griffey and a whole lot of other things as well. But we can tell stories all day, but we're going to take a look at the scoreboard and then move ourselves along to the ninth here. So we both got that run there in the eighth, 5-4, heading into the ninth. It's still close. Aaron,
Yes.
you're going to tell us a little bit about how the ninth is going to work. It's going to be similar to what we just did, but a little bit different. Here we got the little Father's Day montage here. Aaron, take it away. How's the ninth going to work?
Yeah, so ninth inning is going to be like our ninth innings have been, where we have, if we get the first question right, we keep answering so we can score multiple runs.
A true false question. Each major league team has hosted the All-Star game.
I'm going to say false. I don't think I'm quite confident that Tampa has not hosted.
You are correct.
Yeah, I talked to somebody who lives kind of in that area, and they said that part of the issue is that traffic is so terrible that like their ratings on the Rays games on the TV are fantastic, but the attendance is bad because it's so terrible to get to the stadium.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, that's one on the board. I've tied it up. So now I got to see if I can take the lead here. So, Dad, give me another one.
Okay. True or false? The Hall of Fame has no number one draft picks enshrined.
Well, that's false. Because Ken Griffey Jr. is the number one draft pick.
Okay.
All right. 6'5". I got a 2 spot. I'm feeling good. All right, Dad. Next one.
What was the last hit given up by St. Louis Cardinals all-time great Bob Gibson?
What, like home run, single, double, triple?
Right.
I believe this was a home run. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was a home run.
It was a salami.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes. Yeah. All right. Who was it against? Or who was it? He
was pitching against the Chicago Cubs, and the batter's name was Pete Lecoq, and his father was Peter Marshall, who hosted the 60s and 70s TV game show Hollywood Squares, which one of my favorite all-time game shows. Anyway, Gibson said, "Oh yeah, he's only ever hit, soft foul balls off of him in that."
Yeah.
And Lecoq laid into the first pitch, grand slam, and the Cubs went on to win. And Gibson had told the team, this was 1975, he was going to retire. So Red Shandy's, the manager, came out and got him. And he said, "I never went back." He said, "I quit right there, and I never threw another pitch."
Yeah.
That was it. So good job.
Wow. Okay, all right. That's three on the board. I'm feeling real good. All right, let's go.
You got to make this tough on you. Okay, true, false. No major league team has had multiple 20-game losers
on the same
in a season.
I'm going to go false here. I feel like that's a lot of years and a lot of real bad teams. So I'm going to say false. We've had a lot of A's. I don't know if it was the A's. So we had a lot of 19s A's, some
Phillies.
dread Phillies,
Yeah.
Phillies atrociousness. So, what's the answer?
The answer is false.
Yes. All right. Here we go. 4 runs.
1973 Chicago White Sox. They
Was
had
that
this guy named Wilbur Wood. I swear the guy never took a night off. He was 24 wins, 20 losses.
Wow, that's impressive.
Holy cow.
And then his teammate Stan Bonson won 18 and lost 21.
It's still respectable. That's great.
Yeah, that's a lot of decisions.
They had a kind of a tough year. But anyway, yeah, that was that. Okay, so you're still going.
Yeah, it's 4 runs.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta crank up the difficulty level.
Get the relief in here.
At Wrigley Field,
Wrigley Field, okay.
Saturday, August 23rd, 1969. I witnessed this on the NBC Game of the Week. The Dodgers were playing the Cubs at Wrigley, and a Cub batter hit the ball to left field. The left fielder turned to play the ball off the carom, but there was no carom. It wasn't a home run. What happened?
We got stuck in the ivy.
Okay. So here's the answer that I'm looking for.
Okay.
What is the result of that ball being hit into the ivy?
Like, what's the call on the field?
What's the call on the field?
I feel like I gotta say it's a ground rule double.
It's a ground rule double.
Oh, there we go.
And the ball has to be found before they can continue play.
Yeah,
Because they have a
that doesn't make
generally
sense.
good idea of where it went.
Yeah.
But there have been times where it took a long time to find the ball in the ivy.
We're rolling.
Goodness.
Adam's sweating bullets
Yeah,
over
I
there.
need a mercy rule over here.
We can do that Pee Wee League 5-run rule thing if you go.
Crank it up. Crank up that difficulty. Let's go. Let's get that 101 heater. Let's get that Matt Brash slider in here. See if I can take one of those.
Okay. True or false? 1972 National League playoffs. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Johnny Bench's mother came down to the backstop and asked him to hit a home run before his at-bat. True or false?
He had a home run, true or false?
No, his mother came down and asked him.
Oh, and asked him. I'll say false.
It's actually true.
Oh.
It's 9-5, heading into the bottom of the 9th.
Yep.
Here we go. Let's
you-
see it. Let's hear it.
An epic run.
First,
Here we go.
First pitch to Adam. No pitcher who has pitched a perfect game also won the Cy Young Award that season. True or false?
I'm going to say that this has happened. Perfect game and Cy Young.
So false is your.
I don't know. We got the double negative. I don't know which way we're going. I'm saying that it has happened.
It happened. Well, it did happen in 1965 with Sandy Koufax.
Wow.
And in 2003 with Roy Doc Holliday.
Oh, I did get Halliday. I did not get Felix correct. But okay. So I got one.
All right. There you go.
Okay. Name one of the 3 pitchers who eventually wound up in the Hall of Fame who pitched for the 1969 Miracle Mets in the World Series.
Oh, man. Oh boy, Mets trivia, not my strong suit.
I gave you 3 shots at it.
Well, that assumes that I know 3 pitchers who ever pitched for the Mets in the 1960s. Oh boy, let's go. The only one that I can think of right now. Well, yeah, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is Tom Seaver.
Well, that is correct.
Yeah.
Is Nolan Ryan in there?
Nolan Ryan's in there.
Oh.
And Jerry Koosman.
Okay.
Jerry wasn't quite as well known, but still was a Hall of Famer. Those 3. That was an amazing lineup. Those guys were all really pretty young pitchers, especially Ryan. So since division play began in 1969, what is the largest number of games a team has won their division by?
Oh, man.
Ooh, wow. The largest. Oh, boy. You got a range there? You got to just stick it. You got to stick the landing.
Just stick the landing. Here we
go. Do you want me to make it kind of a little easier for him, or should I just?
Maybe you got. Well, I was going to say, Adam, what do you think?
I'm going to take it. You know,
you're going to stick the landing.
I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to say.
What if I gave you the team's name?
Sure. Why not?
Cleveland at the time Indians.
Cleveland at the time Indians. I'm going to say that they won their division by a hearty 14 games.
I feel like it's got to be more than that. Can I want to stab at it.
Okay.
23.
This was in 1995.
Okay.
They lost the series to the Braves, 4 games to 2.
Yeah.
30
games.
30 games ahead of the Kansas City Royals.
Phew.
Yowzer.
Yeah. I was amazed when I saw that.
Okay. We're talking about Father's Day. Obviously, everybody, you can see the fun decor here on the side. Yes. Adam did a nice job putting this together. You coached us.
Yes.
I love hearing your stories, and I forget a lot of them. What are 1 or 2 of your favorite stories about coaching us when we were in Little League?
When you guys started in coach pitch, you had played t-ball.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you coming home from a game one night, and your mom was going to the games. I was working in Spokane and unable to get back for the games, the t-ball games. And I remember you came to me and said, "Dad, I don't understand why when the ball's hit to me at shortstop, all the kids run after it, and I have trouble picking it up because there's so many kids standing there." So I took that as a hint. And here you guys were, I think, 7 years old, if I'm not mistaken. You would have been 8 in September. But I went to the Little League organization meeting, and they were talking about coach pitch. And I asked one of the fathers there who was going to be a coach, what would it take to get my sons on a coach pitch team? And he said, "If you be my assistant." So I joined Bob, and we coached the Astros for 2 or 3 seasons before his oldest son moved up to regular Little League. And that's how I got involved in this. And then we went to regular Little League, and we had the one boy you'd mentioned before that got injured in the go-kart accident, I think it was.
Yeah, Brian, yep.
And that's how you wound up being our catcher.
Yeah.
And so we had a couple of good older boys in the lineup, Nick and Brian.
Yep.
They took us to the playoffs, and we did fine. And then the next year we moved to Garfield, where you guys got into the Garpal system and that, and had a great run. and you were being coached, and I was the assistant coach. Roger was your coach. Justin, I think you've done a shout out to him before. His father, Roger, coached. We just had a lot of success, and I still marvel at Adam. In the second season, when we went undefeated, you only struck out 6 times all year. And what amazed me about that was one time you guys asked, how did I do in Little League? I played 3 years of Little League. I started pretty much every game. I had 2 hits, but I walked a lot. And I probably had more stolen bases than anybody. But we had one game against La Crosse where we were down 21-3 in the last inning coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th. And we scored 15 runs and lost 21-18. Fortunately, and I'm going to admit this now, I made all 3 outs.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was that the result?
But I did not strike out 3 times. I was thrown out in a rundown once because I really thought I could steal home, and because I had earlier in the game, but that didn't pan out. Yeah. But Little League that's where baseball stopped for me. We didn't have enough interest in the town to have a Pony League team, and they also discontinued high school baseball in 1970. Wow. And it didn't come back until the late 1980s with Garfield Palouse combined, and they had some good teams in there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you guys were on the team, the only team to ever make the state championship game. So, but it was so much fun coaching you guys, watching you play through the years, and it's been a good time.
A lot of fun in there. I feel like there's a trivia question in there about players in MLB who have made all 3 outs in an inning. I'd be curious about that one.
Yeah, we're going to have to research that one up.
Yeah, we're going to have to try. I don't know how to find that. So here's our scoreboard. 9-7, a high-scoring affair after 8th and 9th inning combined. We got 9 runs.
Fireworks.
Fun.
Shout out to Romney. He's digging the. We got a little bit of he gave me a little bit of guff because we were a little slow on the scoreboard here early this week. So,
to be fair, you did ask for our subscribers and watchers to taunt us about how poor we were doing earlier this week.
Yeah, yes. So, yes, Romney rose to the challenge. So,
let's pull into some story time and hear a little bit more from Dad, but let's get the funk rolling.
I'm ready. Is this an air band?
Story time. Well, that wasn't. You didn't recognize that? That was a hydraulic peach classic. Right?
Oh, you're right. I missed the lyrical in there.
That was a little joke for you. For those folks out, Dad, now that we put it out there, you got to tell us what the hydraulic peach is.
Well, the hydraulic peach was a band made up of 4 guys in the town I grew up in, and one time one of them came to me at school and said, "Hey, would you want to be the singer in our band, the Hydraulic Peach?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I could do that. What took you so long to find a singer?" And they said, "Well, we just get tired of just playing the songs and we want somebody to sing them." So we played a high school dance. I was an 8th grader. The rest of the guys were in high school. And we made 3 cents because it was early in the school year and the senior class didn't have much money in the treasury. And I think it was our drummer got them to pay him 3 cents so he could send a love letter to his girlfriend at the time. And so we never saw any of it, but it was fun. I
was gonna ask who got shorted the 1 penny, but it looks like everybody except the drummer got shorted.
That's right. He made all the money on that deal. And no, we played 2 dances in our illustrious career, and never made Woodstock. We came along a little too late for that. But yeah.
Did you covers or did you have original?
Yeah, we did. We did covers. I don't remember any original, mostly stuff like I'm Not Your Stepping Stone by the Monkees, House of the Rising Sun. A song that's kind of, if you're into 60s music, Little Black Egg, Come On Down to My Boat, some of those songs like that. Yeah.
Dad, what year was that? I'm looking up the inflation calculator to see how much you
69. Well, that was in 1970.
1970. Oh, that's what I was guessing based on your. So you got paid. You got paid at.
In today's
dollars. A little random trivia here. Any guess on how much that is in today's dollars?
Like
I'd go probably 75 cents.
Yeah, like 80 cents.
23 cents.
23 cents.
23? Glad we didn't sign a long-term agreement to play at that lounge called the Garfield High School Cafeteria.
Oh, that's unbelievable. 23 cents.
Yeah. And just to throw our name, Hydraulic Peach, out there, there was another band in the area, and they were called Marshmallow Steam Shovel. So there were some cool names going around that, Okay.
I'm surprised none of them took.
Yeah. Gee, imagine that. Oh, well. Yeah.
Well, this has been a ton of fun. I'm sure there's more story time that we could go. Actually, Dad, you're joining us for All-Star Weekend.
Yes.
I'm sure you're going to make an appearance on a show around there, so we can hear some more stories. You can regale us with your stories, maybe even, play a little Hydraulic Peach feature. But Aaron, why don't you bring us home here?
Yeah, so a special thanks to Baseball Almanac for just all this data that we get to put together. Folks, if you want to shout out future shows like we did for Romney, put a comment in below. Also, let us know what you like, what any questions you have you want us to answer. And then you can find us on Twitter too. Tweet us there, Baseball Brewhaha. Thanks everybody for watching. We had a long show. I hope it was worth it. Seeing Dad on the show, special Father's Day special. We'll be back at it tomorrow, regular show. But thanks everybody for joining us today. See you then.